welcome to Eden's Gardens Auditorium in St Albans. Welcome to the Gladiator Showdown. I'm Michael Chavello, ringside with my verbal sparring partner, Australian Cruiserweight Muay Thai champion Mark the Hammer Castanini. Fights Are Us Promotions, Pat the Phantom Christophe, bringing you 10 sensational events on tonight's card, featuring the main event between the Gladiator, Nick Tetoros, and all the way from New Zealand, it's Shane Bishop. Now let's go to all the action of our first event between Andy Meraklis and Hakan Dogan.
Boxing is my business and business is good. On behalf of Pat the Phantom Christophe, the Mother's Day Gladiator Showdown. Welcome to Pat's third big show here at Eden Gardens Reception, right in the heart of St Albans. Ladies and gentlemen, opening bout is in the super middleweight division. Debutantes, would you welcome in the blue corner, with Hussein assisting Verusio, Hussein, and the Jamal Hazan Academy. From Epping, making his debut, would you welcome Hakan Dogan. At weigh-in, he's held 73 kilograms, wearing blue trunks with a touch of red and white. Across the ring in the red corner with Big Nick, the mighty security man for Pat the Phantom Christophe from Danilovic. Also making his debut from Keeler Downs, the pride of the Greek community, sharing 76.6 kilograms. Would you welcome Andy Meraklis, wearing black gloves. Sponsoring the opening bout is Bruce Haynes, Pelser centering, Boomerang Brand. Point the shots at ringside, the Hammer, Mark Castanini, and the Darren Eastling of kickboxing, Michael Chavello. Round one.
Into the first round of action, this one between Andy Meraklis out of the red corner and Hakan Dogan out of the blue corner. First round of action brought to you by Pat Christophe, Fights Are Us Promotions. Hakan Dogan in the blue trunks, Meraklis in the black trunks. Both men have started hard and fast. Dogan goes with the front kick. Meraklis sweeps down well with the leg kick. Meraklis looking for the big overhand right. Dogan fired back with the right hand of his own. Spinning back kick there by Dogan, didn't quite find the mark. An explosive start to the night here at the Eden's Garden Entertainment Centre. Sweeping leg kick by Meraklis. Dogan goes high, tries the hooking right hand, didn't quite find the mark. Nice front kick there by Dogan. Flying in to no avail, and a couple of nice uppercuts there by Meraklis. Goes downstairs with a leg kick. Meraklis drilling those uppercuts off the right hand. Dogan just backing him against the ropes. And your third man in centering, Big Bruce Haynes, doing a job of keeping it nice and clean between these two novices, Mark. Chopping leg kicks downstairs there by Meraklis. He went for the right uppercut, didn't quite find the mark. And Dogan looks like he might be in a spot of bother. Another leg kick and another one by Meraklis. Dogan forces him back into the blue corner. What an explosive first round, Mark.
He's working a treat, pushing up and not giving Hakan any room to move. He's right on him, and he's fired right up is Andy, young Andy, and he'll be back into the second round. If he keeps that work rate up, he'll certainly finish with a storm.
Into the second round of action between Hakan Dogan out of the blue corner and Andy Meraklis out of the red corner. An explosive first round it was. Meraklis going downstairs on a number of occasions, finding the target with the leg kicks and trying to drill the big right uppercut. There he goes again. sweeping downstairs at the leg kick. Got his legs caught in between the ropes on that occasion. Nice high right round kick by Hakan Dogan. Beautifully timed leg kick there by Dogan, and a sweeping leg kick of his own from Andy Meraklis.
Timing is right on. Michael is taking that supporting leg of Hakan Dogan every time.
Meraklis with a big right uppercut. Dogan fires back, forcing him into the red corner, but he should have followed through on that occasion, Hakan Dogan. And the momentum for the moment has been lost. He really should have followed through over there in the red corner. Well, the big crowd here at Eden's Garden have certainly come alive for this first bout between Andy Meraklis and Hakan Dogan. Meraklis with a right uppercut. That sweeping leg kick didn't find the mark, and Dogan was out of dodge. The right uppercut found the chin. Another one there by Meraklis. He's connecting now. Hakan Dogan taking the punishment for those right uppercuts, Mark.
He's got his uppercuts working a treat, landing him flush almost every time.
Meraklis has been the aggressor again in this round. Sweeping inside leg kick.
Dogan's going to work a lot more straight line. Forget about the round kicks and come straight up the middle and try and nail Andy Meraklis on the kisser instead of throwing those round kicks, which is just taking on the arms. He's got to work a lot more straight line right up the guts. But,
Third and final round.
Third and final round between Meraklis out of the red corner and Hakan Dogan out of the blue corner. Dogan just winding up the high left round kick. He hasn't really found the mark with it so far in the fight. And as Mark said earlier on, should be going more for the centre line techniques.
that straight line stuff that I was talking about, Michael. Hakan landing a good straight front kick and taking Andy down, but Andy will keep firing in. Very feisty boy, this one. Keeps pushing up all the time.
Dogan going upstairs, high left round kick. Meraklis just stalking him at the moment. Meraklis moving with that right uppercut again. The big right uppercut by Meraklis. It found the mark on the chin of Hakan Dogan against the ropes. And Dogan fires back with a right hand of his own. Wild punches there from Hakan Dogan, forcing Meraklis back against the ropes. Meraklis unleashing that right uppercut again. It's been his most lethal weapon in this fight, and just pops out the straight left hand to perfection. They're slugging it out over in the neutral corner. Meraklis goes downstairs, leg kick to the lead leg. Dogan goes high.
Technique's pretty much gone out the window, and it's just going to be survival of the fittest. And at this stage, I'd have to say that Andy's certainly looking the goods, and I feel he just did too much. And on my scorecard anyway, Andy Meraklis would have to be the one that would take this fight. But nevertheless, a good courageous effort by Hakan Dogan. And
ladies and gentlemen, the winner of our opening bout comes from the red corner, Andy Meraklis. Andy, I'll talk to you in a sec. Jamal? Okay, come on, give Hakan a big round of applause, he needs simmering. Andy, got a tremendous supporter base to the crowd. Your friends urge you on?
Yeah, it was great, you know, with the support I needed, and I pulled it off, so happy, made everyone happy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, Andy Meraklis.
I want to dedicate this fight to Pat and Mourad that showed me many months, and just great to win.
Congratulations. Pat, he's an eager beaver and he was very determined.
Very determined. First fight, good effort on behalf of both the boys. Now, never mind who wins your first, second fight, it's all down to experience. But I do want to win all of them, so don't take that the wrong way. But Andy, well done. Thank you all for coming, and we'll see you in a couple of minutes again.
Up to a light heavyweight interstate match, New South Wales versus Victoria. Ladies and gentlemen, when you welcome in the blue corner from Vermes, New South Wales, making his debut this evening, part of the Thunderlegs, Robert Wildsmith Gymnasium, would you welcome wearing Muay Thai trunks of black, white and red, Marcus Widner. Marcus Widner in the blue corner. Come on, give him a warm welcome to Melbourne for the first time. Ladies and gentlemen, across the ring on my left, occupying the red corner, part of the Silver Fox, Paul's Angels Gymnasium with Parry the Preacher, Nick the Nasty Boy, the babyface assassin. Also, we welcome to ringside, giving a warm welcome 5 times World Kick Boxing Champion, Tosca Pedreaders. Come on, give Tosca a warm welcome here this evening. Also, Tony TNT Picasso, all part of the team when you welcome from Moody Ponds Junction, Kim Osbourne. Kim Osbourne, wearing Collingwood colours of black with a touch of white. That's the spirit, come on your neck. Okay, coming up for round 1, sponsored by Road Safety Equipment Australia. We thank Boomerang Brand for our first bout, Road Safety Equipment Australia. 3 rounds, light heavyweights. Round 1.
Referee Warren McGee gets us underway for the second fight of the night between Marcus Weiber out of the blue corner and Kim Osbourne out of the red corner. Weiber got caught with the right hand on that occasion early. Osbourne has pounced on him early on. And you can bet we're going to see some hard kicks from Kim Osbourne, given his background, Mark.
Certainly right, Michael. Kim Osbourne comes from a traditional Sado Kaikan karate background. Obviously, we're doing a lot of work with Slam Sam Greco. But Marcus Weiber at this stage, a little bit stiff in his movement. Kim's moving nice and fluent. But time will tell. There you see the right hand.
Big right hand there by Kim Osbourne, rocked Weiber. Marcus Weiber looks like he's in a spot of bother in this first round. Standing count being applied by referee Warren McGee. The man from New South Wales has been rattled early. Calls from Weiber's corner to use the leg kicks. He's winding up a high right side kick. This light heavyweight fight, Osbourne looking very composed. Puts Weiber down again, and he'll receive another count from Warren McGee. Looking very good so far, Mark, is Kim Osbourne.
Well, Kim Osbourne is moving very well, and there it is. It's all over. Kim Osbourne, the winner, and deservedly so. Spot on the money, very composed, and an excellent debut into the kickboxing arena from Kim Osbourne. But of course, his experience in the full contact karate has not done him any harm at all. And what a win, what a debut for Kim Osbourne. Hats off to the team, Paul Fifield and Slam Sam Greco. Done really well with this boy, and I look forward to a great future for him.
Ladies and gentlemen, 1 minute 23 seconds into the first round. What an exciting debut win for Kim Osbourne. Kim Osbourne, come across Kim and receive your trophy. stepping up to the light heavyweight division. Would you welcome on my left, occupying the red corner. Making his debut this evening, scaling 73.8 kilograms, part of the Pat Christophe West Side Gymnasium. Wearing black trunks with purple. Would you welcome Savva Tsivilos? Across the ring, looking tall and athletic with black trunks with gold trim, with Vermes, Hussein, and Jamal Hazard Academy, making his debut from Kularu, scaling 76.8 kilograms. Would you welcome Kadir Ghazi? 3 rounds of kickboxing, light heavyweight division. Bruce Hands. Yes, son, yes. Now, listen, Tippin, I mentioned him. Listen, beside you there. Listen, there's in the corner. Assisting Jamal Hussein. Seconds out, 1-1.
We're rock and roll, our first round of action. Another light heavyweight contest between Savva Tsivilos, Tsivilos, and Kadir Ghazi out of the blue corner. Ghazi firing and swinging overhand right, not quite finding the mark. Tsivilos going downstairs, inside leg kicks. Another inside leg kick there by Tsivilos. Both men started at a cracking pace in this novice bout. Kadir continues to go head hunting. Tsivilos firing out those inside leg kicks. Oh, swinging right hand there it was by Kadir Ghazi. Tsivilos going downstairs again. They're going at it hammer and tongue, pulling out all the stops early on. Tie up in the centre of the ring, big Bruce Haynes. The awesome responsibility of trying to keep it nice and clean and keep control. They're going hell for leather, Mark.
I'll tell you what, Michael. I don't know what these guys are trying to achieve, but they're trying to knock each other's heads off. No doubt about that. But certainly the tall boy here, Kadir, he's got to punch straight because that's the order of the day. As his trainer Jamal Hassan is yelling out, straight punching. Straight punching has to be his main priority because he could probably pick Savva off with a good right hand off the chin.
Savva Tsivilos looks like he's expended a bit of energy so far. Kadir going in with the overhand right. Tsivilos burying in, back in against the ropes. No love lost between these two novices at all.
Well, Savva's a tough boy. He's just got to become a little more focused, slow down, and not leave himself as exposed as he just did then. Those big leg kicks, when they miss, you have that second and a half when you do leave yourself open. Savva's just got to calm down and just take note of the job at hand. Well, that goes for both of these boys, in fact, because they've both got a lot of heart, but they're just rushing the job a little too much for my liking.
Round of action between Kadir and Savva. Tsivilos started the round exploding out of his corner, working those inside leg kicks. And Kadir looks like he's just taking his time a bit more, forces him against the ropes. Hasn't been a pretty fight so far, but it's been a lot of action.
This is a bit more like the pace, whether it be tiredness or just a little more control, but the boys are certainly looking a lot better, Michael.
Kadir just trying to measure him with the round kick. Savva chases him across the ring, drilling in a right uppercut. Backs Kadir against the ropes. And the mouthguard just going flying of Savva Tsivilos, who looks like he's a bit more exhausted in this second round. And Kadir Ghazi receiving a lot of instruction from Jamal Hassan, former Blitz Hall of Fame Trainer of the Year, in his corner, instructing him to go right down the centre with his straight punches. Kadir just probing out with the jab. His corner aren't happy with him, telling him to take the initiative and go forward. He swung wide with the right hand. Caught him with a short right. Savva retaliated with one of his own. Well, it's an interesting battle, Mark. It's an ugly fight, this one.
Well, the boys are a little bit all out at sea. Kadir could take the advantage quite easily if he just launched that right hand straight off the chin. But he's choosing to hook his punches. Savva, in turn, I think he spent his pennies in the first round. And he's looking a little tired at this rate and having a lot of trouble with that mouth guard as well, which is not a good distraction. He's got to have that mouth guard firmly lodged in and not worry about it. Worry about keeping the hands up and punching straight, boy.
We recommence in the second round of action. Savva Tsivilos up against Kadir Ghazi. An explosive bout it has been so far. Both novices just really eager to get in there and get it on. Kadir going in with the overhand right. Savva just ties him up. End of the second round of action, Mark.
Well, Savva certainly started with a storm of the whirlwind, but Kadir looks the fitter of the two, and he has the reach advantage. He's just got to focus on the job and punch and kick straight. And Savva, in turn, he's backed off a little. That's probably a good thing for him because he's not going to get himself overtired, but he has to just let Kadir work around him, not keep advancing on and walking into any straight or headshots.
Third and final round of light heavyweight action between Savva Tsivilos and Kadir Ghazi. Tsivilos going downstairs with a leg kick, probably the best one he's thrown so far. Ghazi firing back with a slapping right hand. Big overhand right there by Kadir. Savva going for the inside leg kick. Kadir ties him up. Calls from his corner still to use straight line techniques. Went for the big right hand. Trying to force Savva back into the neutral corner, but he's like a bull terrier, Savva Tsivilos. And just likes to bury into his opponent. Sweeping leg kick again by Tsivilos. Kadir just dancing backwards. Tsivilos not giving him an inch to move, keeping right in on him. And a point deduction there from Tsivilos for losing his mouth guard.
All his pennies in the first round, and Bruce Haynes has called it off.
Well, the referee's called the fight off. Tsivilos' mouth guard dislodged again over in the corner, and Bruce Haynes has called an end to this one.
Unfortunately, in there, referee Bruce Haynes disqualifying Savva Tsivilos. Bad luck there. Come on, a big round of applause for Kadir Ghazi and Savva Tsivilos. Grimbank Car Centre. Kadir Ghazi. Grimbank Car Centre. Grimbank Car Centre. Is there a gentleman or a lady here from that company? Michael, would you come forward, please? From Grimbank Car Centre. One each. Congratulations. Take it off there. Okay, one. Okay. Kadir, come across. Kadir with Jale Hussein. Kadir, when you stepped in the ring, I thought to myself, gee, there's a well-structured young man. You've got natural height, and therefore you'll be able to use that as you gain experience.
Yeah, well, it's my first fight, and I tried my best, but this wasn't my best.
What can I say? I should have done better, but fitness hits to you. Just want to thank everyone for coming. We're trying to Pat, all Murray. I'll see you next time with the big fitter. Thank you.
Pat, he's a charismatic character, isn't he? He's got a lot of pizzazz.
He's got more than just charisma, mate. He's a funny guy. If you ever look around you and you heard the noise when he walked out, I'm pretty sure half this place come for Savva. So, Savva, well done, mate. Credit getting in the ring, because I promise you, if I had so many people, I wouldn't do it, mate. But better than I am. Jamal, thank you very much, mate. I do understand that this fight was taken last minute, and I respect that, so thank you dearly, and I'll return the favour whenever you need it. Thank you.
Would you welcome, ladies and gentlemen, on my right, occupying the blue corner, part of the Thunder Legs, Robert Wildsmith, New South Wales Gymnasium. Come to Melbourne for the first time with a record of 3 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses, wearing the Thunder Legs Gym colours of red with black. Would you welcome Jason, the real McCoy? The real McCoy, getting 84.8 kilograms. In the red corner, unbeaten. Unbeaten, 3 bouts, 3 big knockouts. Would you welcome, ladies and gentlemen, from Kings Park, he's a mighty Western Suburbs man. Wearing black with purple, the big assistant coach with coffee, Nick, the real Savva. Savva. Warren McGee, 3 rounds, light cruiserweights.
Come on, Nick.
Nicky, the real Savva in the red corner. Jason, the real McCoy in the blue corner. Tweets.
All is in readiness for our next fight, a light cruiserweight contest, 84.5 kilo between Nick Savva out of the red corner and the real McCoy, Jason the real McCoy out of the blue corner, all the way from New South Wales. Round 1 scheduled for 3 by 2-minute rounds. Nick Savva undefeated in 3 fights. 3 fights, 3 wins by knockout. McCoy putting the heat on early over in the neutral corner. And Savva, of course, has those wicked high kicks of his that he's done so much damage with in previous fights. And I've got a feeling that McCoy could take it right up to him, especially in the hands department. It'll be a good scalp for Savva to claim if he can defeat McCoy here tonight. McCoy backing him over against the red corner. Savva, let's fire up a big left hand. McCoy working in nice and close and nice and clean so far. McCoy looks like a very well composed fighter. Savva maybe a little intimidated at the start of the round. Front kick off the right leg there by McCoy. Savva was ready for it, however. There's that high left round kick by Savva. McCoy likes to work those hands in nice and close. Savva backed into the neutral corner. He wants to get out of there. Nice left hand connected from Jason McCoy. McCoy forces him against the ropes. Savva forced to cover up, goes an inside leg kick. Tries to clock him with the overhand left. And they're all tied up in the centre of the ring. Good start here by Jason McCoy, Mark.
Well, McCoy's looking the goods at the moment. He's anticipating Savva's attacks quite well. Nick Savva usually taking his opponents out early with big hand and leg shots, but he's been a little troubled in the early stages of this fight by Jason McCoy. So it's good to see the boy from Sydney putting up a bit of a show.
Savva backs him into the neutral corner. End of the first round of action. A good round there for the real Jason McCoy.
I'd have to agree with you there, Michael. Jason McCoy, that was a good first up round for him. And let's see if he can take it from there. But Nick Savva's got a lot of heart. And Pat's talking to him intently in the corner there. And you can bet that Pat Christopher will rev Nick Savva right up.
Warren McGee gets us underway for the second round of action. Nick Savva out of the red corner, launching a high left round kick to start the round. McCoy looking to move in on him early. Backing Savva over near the red corner. McCoy worked his hand combinations very well in the first round. We'll be hoping to stay in close and do the same in the second round. Oh, Savva copped a nice left hand to the jaw. It sent him back a couple of steps against the ropes. Nick Savva looking a little bit overwhelmed by Jason the real McCoy at the moment. McCoy just backing him against the red corner. Savva fires out the big left hand and ties McCoy up.
Well, McCoy just not enough power. He's landing some good punches, but they haven't got enough juice behind him. Savva, on the other hand, he's got a lot of power behind those punches, but he's just not getting them on as he'd like. And McCoy's going to have to keep his hands up, because if Savva throws one of those big round hooking punches, surely will take McCoy out.
McCoy got him barreled up against the ropes. Calls from the corner of McCoy to use more power in those hand combinations. Savva turns it around, a left and a right to the head. McCoy fires back with a left of his own. Turning into an interesting tussle in the second round. A hooking right hand by Savva didn't quite find the mark. McCoy just stalking him, waiting for the right moment to make his move. Both men just waiting for the opportunity. McCoy moving in with his right hand, the end of the second round of action.
Well, Savva coming back slightly in the second round, but Jason McCoy, technically he's not bad. He's just got to power up a little bit more with those right hands of his, and he's landing them, but probably with not enough power. But Nick Savva looking a little better in the second round. But at this stage, still a fairly even contest, with maybe Jason McCoy just ahead slightly.
The fighters touch gloves, the third and final round of light cruiserweight action. In my book, Savva has to pick up the pace if he's going to take this one. It's been McCoy for the first two rounds. McCoy just keeping him nice and close over in the neutral corner. Not enough power behind those punches, though, to do any real damage to Savva so far. Savva trying to slug his way out of there with the left uppercut. McCoy has found the mark with his hands, just not enough mustard behind the shots. Savva ties him up. Both men tango in the centre of the ring. Savva slams down an inside leg kick, one of the first of the round. Should be working the kicks more, I feel, Nick Savva. There he is with the outside leg kick to the outside right thigh on that occasion, and then goes inside legs again.
Well, certainly Savva's toughest test to date. This Jason McCoy is putting up a real battle, a very composed fighter. got to get a bit more power, a bit more hip and shoulder in those punches, but nevertheless a good work rate from Jason McCoy. He keeps ticking away at the points on the judges' scorecards. Nick Savva waiting for the big KO, but Jason McCoy just making it a little difficult for him at this stage.
Savva's work rate has diminished. Both men visibly exhausted as we near the end of the fight. Savva just trying to take his head off with one of those left or right hands. McCoy stings him with the left hand, backing Savva against the ropes. And Savva just using his weight to get out of that situation. The end of the third and final round of action. This one's gone down to the judges.
Well, Nick Savva certainly coming back in the second and third round. And I couldn't separate him in the second and third, I must say. But Jason the real McCoy started well, and maybe that could tell the tale. But this one's going to the judges, and great effort from both boys.
Well done, Anika. Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds in the light heavyweight division, the judges could not separate the two young men. It is a drawn contest. A drawn contest. Bad luck. How did you see it? Is that a fair decision, or did you think you sneaked home?
It's all in the eyes of the judges. Well, whatever's fair to them is fair to me. All I can say is, Mum, happy Mum's Day. I love you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Victorian Light Middleweight Championship. Dr. Kate Davidson at ringside, with Dr. Lewis just moving back to his position. Would you welcome in the red corner, former Australian champion. He's had 9 bouts. He won a big WAKO championship, the Tarek Solik's big show at the venue 2 Christmases ago. Now part of the Yanors Pinewood Gymnasium, which welcomes scaling 70.9 kilograms. Last time out at the Melbourne Town Hall, would you welcome former Australian champion, Goran, Mr. Danilovic, Danilovic. Across the ring in the blue corner, Kelly Saints Gymnasium in Dandenong Road. He combines boxing and kickboxing. Part of the Delic stable, 7 bouts. Would you welcome, scaling 69 kilograms. Hollywood colours of black and white. Would you welcome Eddie Delic? Steady Eddie Delic. 4 rounds of kickboxing in the Victorian light middleweight title fight. Referee in charge, Mr. Bruce Haynes.
Well, gentlemen, I've explained the rules to you. You both know it's a US fight, a freestyle fight. You both understand the rules. For a good clean fight, touch gloves now, come out in the last round, touch gloves again. Good luck to both of you.
Into the first round for the Victorian light middleweight title between Goran Danilovic out of the red corner and Fast Eddie Delic out of the blue corner. Should be an excellent contest, this one. Eddie Delic, of course, a very unorthodox fighter. Very good mover. And Danilovic, are very strong in all departments. Delic just trying to front kick off the ropes. Danilovic likes to move in with his hands. Third man in centre ring, Big Bruce Haynes.
Good, Eddie, good. That's it.
Danilovic trying to move in close with the hands. Delic just backing out of the way. Goes an inside leg kick. Danilovic backing into the blue corner, but Delic very fast out of there, dancing out of the way.
Good, Eddie.
It's all hands so far by Danilovic, Mark.
Yeah, Danilovic staying right away from any sort of kicking, but Delic scoring with some good solid leg kicks, and very cagey character indeed is Eddie Delic.
Danilovic trying to work the hands again over in the red corner. Just not enough sting behind them so far. Delic, plenty of lateral movement from him. Just checks the low kick. Timed it well. Gets a short right uppercut to the side of the head. And there's the end of the first round of action. This battle for the Victorian light middleweight title.
Well, for mine, Michael, not enough leg work by Goran, Danilovic, but fast Eddie, certainly he'll pick up the speed and the pace as the fight progresses. But I'd say the first round you'd have to slightly favour fast Eddie Delic.
Round two of this Victorian title battle. Eddie Delic against Goran Danilovic. Nice front kick off the left leg there by fast Eddie Delic. Timed it very well indeed.
That's it, Eddie.
Delic, a very good counter-attacker.
Take it when you want, not his fight.
Dancing around the ring.
Good boy.
Nice leg kick, 1-2 to the head combination there from Delic.
Good, Eddie.
Danilovic trying to close the gap and move in with his hands again. Danilovic
That's it.
needs to apply more leg kicks. Checked again there by Eddie Delic over in the neutral corner. Moves in close, trying to drill the right hand down to the ribs of Eddie Delic. But to no avail. And again, Mark, Goran Danilovic looks like he's only using his hand department yet again.
Well, Goran has to use a bit more of his strength. He's a fairly powerfully built fighter, but he's just letting Eddie slip out of his reach. Every time he gets him bailed up, he seems to let Eddie off. He's got to really apply his pressure a little more direct.
Good, Eddie.
Delic just inviting Goran in and then connecting with the left hand.
Legs.
Delic continuing to move around. Great agility, the end of the second round. Good round there again, I feel, for Eddie Delic.
I'd have to agree with you there, Michael, but Goran Danilovic, as I said, he's a very powerful fighter, but he's just got to take the initiative a little bit more, push up, and really work those punches into Eddie. But Eddie at this stage just a little too light on his feet. He's a very slick mover, very impressive always, and I feel as he progresses, Eddie, he's getting better all the time.
Third round of title action between Danilovic and Delic. Danilovic again hunting with his hands, just tying up the leg of Delic over against the ropes. Can't do any of that. Danilovic lining up the big straight right hand.
That's it. Put the combinations together now.
Delic just sitting in the blue corner. Danilovic came through with a big right hand. Nice inside leg kick, found the mark there from Delic. Delic continuing to play the counter-attacking game with Danilovic. Fires out a leg kick to the lead leg. Goes upstairs with a high right round kick. One of his first for the night. Delic just sitting in the corner again, waiting for Danilovic to come in. Sweeping leg kick by Danilovic. Was way off target. Ties Eddie Delic up. And it's an interesting contest so far, Mark.
Well, it is. I feel both fighters have played a bit of a psychological game. But Danilovic works his way in, but often gets caught a little too much on the way in. Delic, in turn, is just ultra quick, firing out those rapid hand combinations. Danilovic really he's got to start powering up a little bit more and stop doing those little sort of sweep kicks, leaving himself exposed. A very dangerous game to play. If you throw the kick, throw it with intent. If not, don't throw it at all. But at this stage, fairly even contest, but on my scorecard, I'd have to say Fast Eddie slightly ahead.
Fourth and final round of this title bout between Eddie Delic and Goran Danilovic. Delic just backed into the neutral corner again, trying to fire out the front kick. Danilovic ties him up. Delic connecting there with a short right hand. All tied up again. One of the first real high kicks off the left leg there by Danilovic. Trying to find the mark with a big right hand. But he hasn't really found it yet in the fight.
It's the last minute. Pick it up.
Delic looking for the front kick off the left leg. Calls from his corner to raise the intensity as we tick down in the fourth and final round.
Very interesting fighter, Eddie Delic. He likes to sit back on the ropes, which is not really the desired place for most fighters, but he just likes to relax up against the ropes and throw his kicks and punches while being supported by the ropes, which is a fairly interesting game plan from him. Danilovic, on the other hand, is standing back a little too much and giving Eddie just a little bit too much time to tick off onto him. He needs to either move in or out, be either in on his opponent or out of range, and not be always in between, which will enable your opponent to pick you off.
Legs hang. Legs hang.
Front kicks off the lead leg there by Delic. Danilovic just forcing him back into the corner, tying him up. Delic continues to play the counter-attacking game in the fourth and final round.
Come on. Blood.
Big overhand right, nothing in at the end of the fourth and final round of action for the Victorian light middleweight title.
Well, it's going to go down to the judges once again, but for my like, I'd have to say Fast Eddie Delic, just having the superior work rate, looks the goods for this decision.
Written here on the back of the clash of the crown I've got on the back of that flyer. It says unanimous points winner from the blue corner, Eddie Delic, the new Australian champion, Victorian light middleweight champion. Congratulations, Eddie. And good luck there to Goran Danilovic. Defending the championship belt, would you salute the new Victorian light middleweight champion? A very proud. Come on, give Goran Danilovic a big round of applause. He's formerly a WAKO Australian middleweight champion. Eddie Delic, light middleweight champion. Tony DiCasio. Tony, I'll get you to drop those to Goran in the dressing room. We'll give one to Eddie. Okay, congratulations from one champ to another. Eddie, it's nice when you win something major, a championship.
Yeah, pretty hard fight. I mean, didn't have much time to train before this fight, but I'd love to take this opportunity to thank Trainer Kelly, all the guys from the gym. Thank you guys very much. I'd just like to thank the rest of the family and friends that came down tonight.
I have a dream. I have a dream. I have a dream. I still have a dream.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the East Coast Lightweight Championship for women. Last August, these two women on Machine Gun Charlie Danielovic's big card at Geelong fought a great battle. This is a return match from August 16 last year. Would you welcome, ladies and gentlemen, in the blue corner with Barry the Preacher assisting, who's there as well. It's Brendan the Pacer, and he's assisting Paul Fifield, the Silver Fox. This young lady comes from Yarraville via Lancel Road in Toorak. She brings in a centering record of 5 bouts, 2 wins, 3 losses, scaling 60.0 kilograms, wearing tiger trunks with the black and gold. Would you welcome Renee Sugar Ducker? In the red corner with Jale, her brother, and Laos Tui assisting Master Dana the trainer. He's been an icon in Australia since coming from Hawaii, USA. This young lady's had 8 bouts, 6 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. She's the East Australian and South Pacific champion, scaling 61.8 kilograms. Dubbed by Master Dana, the Vermes Wonder Girl, wearing Muay Thai trunks of gold, red, with gold stars and black. Would you welcome Jale Osman? 4 rounds of kickboxing. Your man in charge, the specialist of ladies kickboxing, Mr. Bryce Whistle. Do a war dance, Bryce.
Okay, ladies, you're both aware of the rules you're fighting under. You got no questions at this time. Listen to my commands, defend yourselves at all time, and touch gloves now and in the last round. Good luck.
First round of action for the East Coast lightweight title between Jale Osman out of the red corner and Renee Darker out of the blue corner. A rematch of these two girls. The height, reach advantage going the way of Darker. The experience resting with Jale Osman. Big overhand right there by Jale. Found the target. Very strong in the hand department, Jale Osman.
Yes!
Nice left hand it was there. Straight left, straight through the guard by Renee Darker. Big leg kick by Jale. Renee came back with a left of her own.
Beautiful! Beautiful!
And a good opening to this first round by both women.
Oh, and again, and again!
The left hand just caught Jale on the side of the face. Jale just backing Renee into the blue corner, trying to work those rips to the body. Third man in centre ring, Bryce Burwhistle.
There you go, let it go. Close again. Let it go, let it go.
Higher left round kick there by Renee Darker. Jale caught her on the gloves. Follows through with the right hand, just not enough mustard behind it.
Well, Renee Darker certainly finding the mark with that southpaw left hand of hers. Coming straight off the chin. It's landed to the target a couple of times, but Jale is certainly a very powerful girl keeps pushing up and not giving Renee an inch. But it's good to see Renee's technique has certainly been tidied up now that she's under the auspices of Paul Fifield.
Well, this is proving one of the best first rounds of the night so far. A good technical contest with plenty of power by both women. End of the first round of action. This for the East Coast lightweight title between Jale Osman in the red corner and Renee Darker in the blue corner. Second round of action. Renee Darker in the tiger trunks. Jale Osman letting those big body shots go. Nice front kick there by Renee. Those quick hands of Jale Osman, Renee Darker will have to be careful of them. Packs quite a punch, does Jale.
Let it go, Renee. Let it let them go.
Michael, with the good reach and height advantage that Renee Darker has, she should be keeping Jale well away from her and not getting into this sort of a position where Jale is on the inside and just going to work on her. She should be popping the front leg, following with that straight left, keeping Jale away with a good stiff jab and not letting Jale work in on her.
Couple of furious flurries from Jale Osman in this round, especially in the hands department. Renee Darker connected with the nice right hand to the ribs. Jale fires back a right hand of her own.
Nice check. Nice.
Renee Darker just checking that low kick. Jale follows it through, right hand to the body, then goes up to the head. Overhand right there by Jale Osman. One too many of those will make Renee wish she was someplace else. Renee just dancing out of trouble. Jale just stalking her. Goes a kick to the rear leg. Renee Darker has to fire back with some mustard of her own now. Jale just pressuring her against the ropes. Inside leg kick there by Jale. Backs her against the ropes. Darker fires back with the left hand. Didn't quite find the mark. End of the second round. It's a good fight, this one, Mark.
Well, it's certainly very close. Nothing in it at this stage. But Jale firing in some good body shots there on Renee. Renee, in turn, she's got to keep using that reach advantage. But Jale certainly a very strong competitor, a very powerful lady, and she keeps pushing up on Renee and nullifying that height and reach advantage.
For the East Coast lightweight title, Jale Osman against Renee Darker. This has been one of the best fights of the night so far. They come out all guns blazing again in this round.
Let it go, let it go.
Darker, nice outside leg kick. Jale just pressuring her back in the neutral corner. Connects with that left hand to the head. Jale Osman, the pitbull, firing them out. Darker fires back. Plenty of instruction being yelled by both corners. Sensational battle so far. A title battle. A rematch. Darker moving around very well. Jale just forcing her against the ropes with a nice right-handed body shot. Darker should be going downstairs with those big leg kicks again. Jale lines one up of her own. There's one from Renee Darker. Leg kick by Jale. Follows it through with a nice left hand. Inside leg kick by Renee. They're letting it all go in an illegal spinning back fist there. That might have been from Jale Osman. And referee Bryce Birtwhistle just warning Jale. Sensational action in the third round. Jale digging in with that body shot. A nice front kick to the face there by Renee Darker. Darker's on the attack now. Jale just dancing out of trouble. Front kick off the right leg by Renee Darker. Jale moving in close with the right hand. A torrid battle between these two women. Thunderous overhand right, a fresh air shot it was though by Jale Osman. drives one into the body.
Round 3.
End of the third round of action. Mark, what a rib cracker we're seeing.
Well, what a great round from both these girls. Jale Osbourne certainly powering up, closing the gap and working Renee very hard. Renee really needs to throw a lot more conviction in her technique. She's really got to slam those kicks and punches in. She's putting them out as a bit of a token, but certainly Jale is powering up on those body shots and combining everything quite well at this stage.
The man sent an apology, but other greats are here this evening. Simon Sandrico. We'll be talking to Sam Solik a little later. Seconds out. Fourth and final round.
Fourth and final round of action. Hakan seems to be a little overwhelmed so far by the power of Jale Osman. Jale burying in again, rapid left-right combinations to the head of Renee Darker. Oh, a beautiful front kick it was there off the right leg by Jale. Another one a little bit lower down to the solar plexus, and a third one. Big overhand right there by Jale. Renee went swing with the left, didn't find the mark.
Do it again, Renee. Step in with it. Slow it low. She's a shorty. Come on. Come on, mate. First, go, mate.
Jale Osman came out all guns blazing, opened up like a house on fire in the fourth and final round. She wants the East Coast lightweight title. Renee Darker continues to move around. Jale just dipping it down to the body. Calls from Renee Darker's corner to throw the big left hand. Couple of leg kicks to the left leg there by Jale.
Where's your left hand? Show it back.
Jale throws her hands with a palpable force of will. Great strength behind her technique. Lets it rip there with the left hand. Goes downstairs with another leg kick. She's right on top of Renee Darker, Mark.
She certainly is, Michael. Renee Darker has got to really power up a lot more in her technique. As you see Jale just doing, she really puts everything into her punches, and she impresses me. She's got a height disadvantage, Jale, but she certainly makes up for that with the determination and power. Renee really needs to power up a lot more and use her reach, stick the front kick, and really throw those leg kicks in.
Into the final seconds of this title bout. There it is, the end of the best fight of the night so far between Jale Osman and Renee Darker. This one's gone down to the judges.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of women's kickboxing, we have a new East Coast lightweight champion by unanimous decision from the red corner. The World Wonder Girl, Jale Osman, adding to her Australian and South Pacific title. John, I'll get you a big shout around. And a big round of applause for Sugar Ray Darker before that battle. We'll talk to Jale in just a moment. Paul and Renee to the cross. Mother's Day, come on, Rose. Come on, all our one of our mums. Rose Osman. Rose, before I talk to Jale, a very proud mum. I'm slightly before heaven, aren't I, Rose? Who's that?
I'm very, very proud to see my daughter win this day.
Now, it's very appropriate because it's Mother's Day. Did Jale come and see you this morning? Because I know from experience she makes a great cup of coffee.
Yes, she's beautiful.
She's beautiful, is she? She's your baby.
My baby.
Thanks very much, Rose. And Jale, your third championship. Come on, Mum. Congratulating. Dana, that's 6 championships, is it? Gosh, I'm 5 behind. 3 behind. That's 6 titles, Jale. Well, must be interstate. Jale, that was a tough battle. Paul Fifield said it was a much more fierce bout than the previous time last August at Geelong. Is that the way you saw it?
I mean, it was, I don't know, it was quite tough. I mean, that she was going to train very hard for this fight. But she done alright, I mean, I apologize for the elbow in the face. I didn't mean to do it. thank Paul Weiber for training very hard for me. All my staff that have to run over there. Thank Paul Weiber for training Renee again. Thank you again. And I would like to say to all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. It's a special day for you all. I've got two special people to say happy Mother's Day. It's my mum, Rose, who says happy Mother's Day, and my boss, Danielle, which is here. First of all, I'd like to thank Jale, Osman, mum, to his brother, Hussein, for helping me train for this bout. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here for my
South Pacific, Australasian and Australian champion, originally from New Zealand, now based in Adelaide, South Australia. Chris Nicolou, come on, give Chris a warm welcome back to Melbourne Town. He's done big shows from Brisbane, Adelaide and Melbourne Town. Ladies and gentlemen, one of our feature attractions, super lightweights, 4 rounds, thank you, Anika. Ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome across the ring in the blue corner, proudly wearing the championship belt, he's been dubbed the Tiger. Pablo Jamal Hassan Academy, unbeaten, would you welcome Hussein Mourad. He's a fighting machine, proudly wearing the trunks of a touch of green, white and red. Across the ring from West Sunshine, part of the West Side, Pat Christophe Gym, 4 bouts, 3 wins. Voted by the Professional Boxing Control Board, voted by the Malcolm McGuinness, as the Wonder Boy on the last big Pat Christophe show. 4, 3 and 1, wearing total black trunks. Would you welcome Tony Antoniou? Tony Antoniou. Okay, this bout proudly presented by GLE, LEE, not Howard Lee, that's me, GLE Real Estate. Great supporters of Pat Christophe and Ultimate Paul Dever College, George Sheeter. Wonderful real estate, new properties, new housing, land, you name it. Real estate booming in Melbourne's western region. See GLE Real Estate. Mythos Cafe Bar, Amino Active, Sambuca Bar, Brunette Car Centre, Road Safety. Right, Chris? Seconds out, round 1.
Underway in the first round of action. This should be a corker of a fight between the Western Wonder, Tony Antoniou, and the Tiger, Hussein Mourad. Essentially a brilliant kicker in the Wonder against a fantastic boxer in Hussein Mourad. The Western Wonder, I like to call him Mr. Fabulous with those great kicks of his. And there's the wicked hand combinations of Mourad. Already this has proven to be something special.
Well, Tony's going to have to keep Hussein away, because if he gets in close, he's a very powerfully built fighter. As we've seen in the last bout, the stockier of the two is Hussein, and if he gets in there, could be a little bit of trouble for Tony Antoniou.
Hussein moving with those clobbering hands early on. Backing Antoniou into the neutral corner. The Western Wonder just barreling his way out of there, firing back with some hand combinations of his own. Hussein catches him with a knife left hand. He goes down. An early blow there for the Western Wonder. The left hand caught him sweet. Hussein Mourad charges across the ring. Antoniou in trouble early on. Fires out the high left round kick. Another high left round kick there by the Western Wonder. Mourad backing him against the ropes, trying to fire in that lethal right hand. Third man in centre ring, referee Chris Nicolau.
Antoniou has to keep his hands up, Michael, because Mourad is going to get in with those big hooks, and that's going to do the damage. And he's got to start using his kicks a lot more front on instead of those step-up side kicks, possibly front kicks or roundhouse kicks to the head. But definitely he's got to keep Mourad away from him.
What a torrid first round there for the Western Wonder, Tony Antoniou. Copying quite a few knocks on the jaw there, Mark.
Well, he moves into the second round, but this break could do him the world of good. But he's going to have his attacks launched a lot more straight on to Mourad. It was Mourad's coming in and closing that gap quite effectively, just slipping inside or around that step-up side kick.
Let's rumble in the second round of action between the Western Wonder, Tony Antoniou, and the Tiger, Hussein Mourad. It was Mourad who came out smoking in the first round. And let's see what Mr. Fabulous can produce in the second round, the Western Wonder. Just lining up there with the spinning back kick to begin the round. Mourad moving in immediately with that big left hand. Will Antoniou's fabulous kicks be able to overcome the sheer power, the destructive power of Hussein Mourad? Side kick by Antoniou. Mourad just charging after him. Antoniou being made to work. Careers those left and right round kicks into the ribs. Mourad just tying him up. Inside leg kick, nice and close.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mourad is certainly powering up. Have a look at him. He's always a walk-up fighter. And Tony Antoniou has to power up a little with his own kicks and put him into the legs. He's got to power right up with those kicks rather than just throwing them out as a token gesture.
Oh, the huge left round kick there by the Western Wonder, Tony Antoniou. Caught him sweet. The count being applied here by referee Chris Nicolau. The Western Wonder, Tony Antoniou, is fired back in the second round of action. This might infuriate Mourad. Mourad comes out smoking with the left hand. Can the Wonder get him again? The crowd rallying behind Mr. Fabulous Tony Antoniou. A high left round kick by the Western Wonder. He had a troubled first round. He's coming on strong in the second. Drills a body shot downstairs, does Antoniou. A spinning back kick to end the second round of action, and that round goes the way of Antoniou, Mark.
Well, what a great round from Tony Antoniou, showing a lot of heart and coming back in the second round. Mourad, being the walk-up fighter, is good that he has to close the gap and work Tony hard, but he's also getting caught on the way in, and that is the danger point there. But this is a crackerjack fight, very much a contrast of styles, and it's going to go down to the wire, or into the third round anyway, and I look forward to see the remainder of this fight.
Down of this absolute ripper of a clash, a high left round kick to start it from the Western Wonder. In my scorecard, he lost the first round, definitively won the second round, and it's Mourad charging him across the ring in the third round of action. Antoniou fires in the front kick off the left leg. Listen to the crowd go wild. They're going bananas here at Eden's Garden. The Western Wonder putting on a real show. Hussein Mourad looking a little worse for wear. Antoniou, the intestinal fortitude. It's been the fight of the night so far. Mourad inside leg kick. Antoniou tries to go for the uppercut. Gets underneath the hand very nicely. A good bit of evasion there from the Western Wonder. Oh, leg kick it was there by Mourad. Found the mark. Might have connected to the knee of Antoniou. These are two battle-weary warriors in the ring. Mourad trying to work in the body shots. Antoniou just dancing out of trouble, sticking out that left-legged side kick to the solar plexus. High left round kick there by the Western Wonder.
Well, certainly Antoniou's Taekwondo background is kicking right in here for him. He's got to keep pushing though, because Mourad, you can be sure that he'll keep powering up. None of Jamal's boys ever give up easy, and certainly Hussein Mourad is no exception.
The third round of action. What a sensational bout we're seeing between the boy wonder Tony Antoniou and Hussein Mourad. Fourth and final round of action, super lightweight action between the Western Wonder Tony Antoniou and Hussein Mourad. It has been an absolute thrill ride so far. Well-checked leg kick there. Hussein just poking him with the right hand, warning not to catch the leg. Hussein needs to produce a good final round. I believe he lost the second and the third in my scorecard. He won the first.
Well, Michael, Tony Antoniou's literally kicking the riding off his shorts. He's using that lead leg so much. The riding's coming straight off those shorts, but I'd have to say on work rate and effectively landing techniques, he'd have to be slightly ahead on the scorecards.
The Wonder just sticks him with the left hand. They're all tied up. They've both expended a lot of energy. Boxer versus kickboxer, or kicker essentially. Tony Antoniou hailing from a Taekwondo background. Calls from Hussein's corner to snap out of it and snap into action. He backs Antoniou into the blue corner, connects with a vicious left hand, but Antoniou fires out and finishes it off with a high left round kick. That's what the crowd want to see.
Well, to date, there's always been a bit of a wonder, if you pardon the pun, on Tony Antoniou as to whether he could take it in a hard fight, because he's had fairly easy wins, I'd say. But certainly he's being tested here by Hussein Mourad from the Jamal Hassan Academy. But I'd have to say Tony Antoniou would be answering the critics quite well and showing that he's got it.
We recommence in this bout. Calls from Hussein's corner to go ballistic in these dying moments. But a high side kick to the face by Tony Antoniou. It's sheer brilliance by the Western Wonder. Absolutely sensational. Will you look at that? That is sheer brilliance. My word, he brought the house down with that technique. The Western Wonder, blood flowing from the nose of Hussein Mourad. If you only see one kick in your lifetime, that's the one you want to see. The high side kick from the Western Wonder, Tony Antoniou, and that's why they call him Mr. Fabulous. We thought Hussein Mourad was right on top of him in the first round. Antoniou came back in the second and third, and a spinning hook kick by the Western Wonder. He is on fire here tonight. The crowd have gone bananas. A slug-a-thon, a war. It's one of the fights of the year. It's pandemonium. What a standing ovation. My word. Absolute grace in motion. Tony Antoniou, brilliant. Oh, that's brilliant. A standing ovation for Mr. Fabulous, the Western Wonder, Tony Antoniou.
Did you like that? Come on! Wow, what a last round. This referee went to overdrive. Delic and Slemlin Sandreco and Graham Burke after this match, and then Nick McCoy. We have a presentation to make to you, Nick. Bill Hartman, was that something special? It was. GLE Real Estate. Who's there for that great company? Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 action-packed rounds, we have a split decision. But the winner comes from the red corner. We're going to talk briefly to both young men. And good to see Gunnar. Gunnar in the corner. Gunnar will be back in action on the Jamal's Live Next Show. And 4 weeks ago. This man showed a lot of fortune. Come on, give Hussein a big round of applause. He showed character and courage. And he lost 5 rounds. Hussein back up there. It's close. Oh, back all round. Boys. Really, I believe I'm rematching anytime. Even right now. Jamal coming to me over here. Jamal was desperately close. Hussein started like a rocket. Maybe the kick to the nose did the damage there.
Listen, just hold on a second. Is this fight worth for you $20? Yes or no? That's the main thing. You enjoy it, that's the main thing. This boy is a fighter. He's a tiger. He can fight anytime, anywhere. It's not a problem. This is the fight I want to see. I don't want to see boys pulling back, going in and fight. And Hussein done it. He's still a champion. Long as he come up here and put his balls to the ground and fight. Like a tiger, like a man, not a problem winning or lose. Congratulate the winner and congratulate the Hussein, giving you a very good fight tonight. And I think it's the best fight of the night too. And I'd like to have this fight rematch on my card July the 12th. Thanks very much. Will be a good crowd for me too.
Oh, very well. Tony, I observed in the first round he came out smoking, he gave away a little bit of weight, and you had to change the strategy. You had to use the speed, and you used that, and he came home like a train.
I got a lot of respect for this. The weightings yesterday was supposed to be between 61 and 63. My big came at 62.3. He won at 68 kilos. I gave him the extra weight. He should respect that. Sorry, 67 kilos. He should respect that. I gave him 5 kilos. He wants a rematch. He comes down to my weight. I done it his way, and I won. Big Nick, Mario, everyone, John Leckie, everyone for coming, thank you.
Antoniou.
Look, this boy has won fight of the night twice, and if there was a fight of the night tonight, this would have been the fight of the night. Awesome. Awesome, yeah, Tiger. What can I say over here? Lion. I don't know. Jamal, thank you very, very much. Hussein, thank you. You're a very strong boy. But I'll just tell everybody one thing. Last night, I never slept. Why? Because our opponent was exactly 5.5 kilos heavier than us. That is a big difference, yeah? Massive. Well, guess what? The Phantom took it and we did it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Pat Christophe fights for us, proudly presenting his first Australian Light Heavyweight Championship. Would you welcome in the blue corner? He is the East Coast champion with a record of 11 bouts, 8 wins, 3 losses. He comes from Campbelltown, South Australia, wearing Muay Thai trunks, fire red with gold. Would you welcome Danny Verusio? At weigh-in, Danny scaled at 83 kilograms. Across the ring, in the red corner, on the west side, Pat Christophe fights for us. Gymnasium from West Essendon, scaling at his 1.4 kilograms. Record of 7 bouts, 5 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. Would you welcome, wearing Essendon colours of black with red, Justin Mutimer. 5 rounds, judges. Kelly Saint, Chris Nicolou, and Bruce Haynes. The referee in charge is Mr. Rice, Bert Whistle. This Light Heavyweight Championship in Australia.
Listen to my commands and defend yourselves at all times. Touch gloves now and
The Melbourne Penthouse, sponsoring bout 8. Danny Verusio, fire red and gold, and Justin Mutimer black with red. Seconds out. Round 1.
Bryce Burt Whistle gets us underway. The first round for the Australian light heavyweight title between Justin Mutimer out of the red corner and South Australia's Southport slugger Danny Verusio out of the blue corner. Heard a lot about this man, Danny Verusio, one of the best fighters to come out of South Australia. And this perhaps his first fight here in Melbourne. Mutimer, a tall, gangly character. We've seen him a number of times before on Pat Christophe's shows. Interesting to see how Verusio overcomes the height advantage of Mutimer. Slams in that high right round kick. Verusio hasn't thrown anything yet. Just waiting for it. Go downstairs, checking the leg kick. Verusio still yet to throw his first real technique. There it is, a hook to the head. And an inside leg kick with might have just caught the groin of Justin Mutimer. Verusio just catches the high round kick on the gloves. The southpaw slugger from South Australia. Nice inside leg kick to that lead leg. And another one there from Verusio. Timing them very well.
Just watching Verusio move into the ring at the start of this bout, Michael, he seemed to have a bit of a problem with one of his legs. So I'm just wondering if Verusio might be carrying a cork thigh or maybe possibly a shin injury. But just as he walked behind me and stepped into the ring, he did seem to have a bit of a sore leg. So he's showing no signs of that now, of course. But I just wonder if there's any telling injury there.
Into the first round of action between Justin Mutimer out of the red corner and Denny the southpaw slugger Verusio out of the blue corner. This one for the Australian light heavyweight title, scheduled for 5 rounds. Second round of action, Mutimer against Verusio. Pretty even first round. Verusio moving around well at the start of the round, showing no signs of any leg trouble at all. Good technician he is, the southpaw slugger. And Mutimer will have to be particularly wary of those inside leg kicks off the left leg of Danny Verusio. Mutimer being told to use his jab more, that long probing jab. Nice leg kick to the lead leg there by Verusio.
Come on, Danny. Up now, up.
Calls from Verusio's corner to raise the intensity of his work rate.
Careful, Danny. Watch him.
And in that short break there, Verusio's corner telling him to use more hands. But he's finding some problems so far in bridging the gap because of the enormous reach advantage of Justin Mutimer. Tried for the inside leg kick. Nice inside leg kick there by Verusio. He's been finding the mark with it so far. And that inside left leg of Justin Mutimer just reddening up a little bit.
Well, what a stalking fighter Mutimer is. Verusio really needs to take the fight up to Mutimer a little bit more. His footwork's looking quite good, but he seems just to be backpedaling a little too much. He needs to close the gap and go to work with his hands, which I believe are Danny Verusio's strong point. But certainly Justin Mutimer always pushing forward and taking the initiative with a lot of technique. But Danny Verusio, very much a thinking fighter, is waiting for a gap. And the danger in that is if you wait too long, sometimes it never comes.
Let's rumble in the third round of action. This for the Australian light heavyweight title, Victoria versus South Australia. Mutimer just probing with that jab, that left hand, and then firing in the higher right round kick.
Well, Verusio's picking up Mutimer's techniques well and defending well, but he's just not countering quick enough. He needs to either catch the kick and then work off his opponent's attack. Mutimer, on the other hand, he's just pushing up. He wants to fight.
Letting it all go a bit over in the red corner. That's more what the crowd want to see. Inside leg kick being wound up again there by Verusio. Sweeping downstairs kick there from Justin Mutimer. Verusio needs to increase his workload. Nice leg kick there by Danny Verusio. That'll take the starch right out of Justin Mutimer.
And that rear left thigh of Mutimer is reddening. Tall, brooding fighter is Justin Mutimer. Launches the high right round kick. Verusio caught it on the gloves. Plenty of instruction being yelled to Justin Mutimer from his corner by Pat the Phantom Christophe, also promoter of tonight's gala event. Nice leg kick there by Verusio. Mutimer just stalking him, delivers a good inside leg kick. End of the third round of action.
Well, once again, Michael, a fairly even round. Verusio a little on the back pedal. He needs to really dig in and go to work on Mutimer, because I feel if he does, he may take the advantage because he has got fairly tidy hands, but he seems to be just sitting back and waiting.
Verusio opens the fourth round for leg kick. Being told between rounds to really pick up the work rate. As Mark said earlier on, he's defended very well, but hasn't followed through with attacks of his own, certainly not going on the initiative and doing a bit of backpedaling. It's been Mutimer who has stalked him for 3 rounds so far. There's a nice inside leg kick by Verusio. But again, continuing to dance around and let Mutimer force him back into the corner. When Mutimer delivers a nice solid right hand. Verusio perhaps having some trouble with the distance. Nice outside leg kick. No doubt that he's got some good leg kicks on him, Danny Verusio, but he's not really following through after them.
Well, technically, Verusio is a fairly accomplished fighter. He's throwing his technique nice and crisp, and his kicks and his footwork impress me, but his work rate, unfortunately, doesn't. He needs to really pick up his work rate a little bit more and take it up to Justin Mutimer, who's just pushing up and doing a bit of a workman-like effort at this stage.
Get up, Danny, get up. Come up.
Another excellent leg kick there from Verusio. The red welts appearing on the rear left leg of Justin Mutimer. Verusio finds the mark again. Will take the starch right out of poor old Justin Mutimer. But Mutimer continues to stalk him. Verusio just hitting him with one technique and not really following through.
Well, Verusio, I feel, is playing a scoring game. He's just trying to notch up the scores and hoping to take the fight on that sort of a win. There's one more round to go, and that'll be interesting to see if Verusio steps up the pace a little further. But at this stage, I feel he's just content to throw the leg kick out and stick the punches out and try and work the judges' scorecards a little.
Kickboxing, Gladiator Showdown. But away, 2 main events to come. We'll be talking to Jake, the Great White Shark beating WKA Australian and South Pacific champ. Home fan, a big winner over Ersin Tekin on the week. Jamal Hassan Academy show, a very close win there, home fan. They're fighting in Sydney, May 24. Home and Jake. Seconds out. 5th and final round. Coming in behind Justin Mutimer, Danny Verusio, Adelaide versus Melbourne. Come on.
5th and final round of action. This for the Australian light heavyweight title. Both men really need to bring home the bacon here. Verusio exploding over against the ropes, letting fly with that left hand to the head. Oh, collision. Inside leg kick there from Verusio.
Well, this is more like it from Verusio. He's starting to take the initiative a little here and bridge the gap well. But you can bet that if he's hoping to take Mutimer out, Justin Mutimer is one tough customer. He's had a few hard fights very unorthodox and gangly type fighter, but nevertheless a very tough man. And Verusio's going to really have to go to work if he wants to take him out in the last round.
Those crushing leg kicks of Verusio's continue to work, a treat for him. Mutimer just following him across the ring. Mutimer perhaps looking more composed in this fight than in any of his previous fights. Oh, big left hand it was there by Verusio. Just not enough mustard behind it. The clock ticking down on this title fight. Verusio moved in for the hook, off the right hand, of course, being a southpaw. There was a straight left and another. He caught Justin Mutimer, who's gone down. Well, Verusio caught him sweetly to the kisser. And that'll make it probably a 10-8 round there for Verusio. The tide could turn in his favour.
Well, the time's ticking down, and Mutimer's got to stay up. But Verusio has to take him out, and it's going to be a climactic finish here. Mutimer should be staying back, popping out the front kick, and not engaging in any sort of not engaging in any sort of toe-to-toe, but he did, and this one is going down to the judges, and I hate to say it, but it's going to be a close one, and maybe, just maybe, Verusio left his run a little too late, but nevertheless it goes down to the judges, and I'll be interested to see how this fight goes.
On Mother's Day. Thank you, Nika. Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds of kickboxing, we have a new Australian light heavyweight champion. He comes from the, well, I've got the wrong corners here. Just clarify that. Yes, we even did that when Lester Ellis won the world championship against okay, ladies and gentlemen, the winner is from the blue corner, Verusio. Okay, maybe I was punched right there. Hand back to Justin Mutimer. What a gallant battle. Come on, give Justin a big round of applause. And congratulate Verusio from Campbelltown, South Australia. The runner-up. Okay. Bill, yes. Danny, turn around towards the camera. Danny, this way. Johnny shouting out his game to me before the show and said, no nicknames, you're all business, Danny. Congratulations. Last time you came here, unfortunately you didn't have the punter. You beat Emma Power, you beat Justin Adelaide in March, and then you repeated. Congratulations, Danny. East Coast Championship and now Aussie title.
It's a beautiful feeling. It's been a lot of hard work. I'll dedicate those two men there. It's undoubtedly the best gym in South Australia, and now I've just proved tonight that it's one of the best in Australia. Thank you.
Well done, Danny. Danny Verusio. Pat, Justin, bad luck there. He just got you with some big bombs in that last round, but you never gave in.
No, Danny's a good fighter. As you said before, I fought in Adelaide. It was a top fight, hardest fight I've had. I think Danny's terrific. I'm glad he's got the Australian Championship. I'd actually like to thank everybody coming out tonight, especially my parents who supported me fantastically, my sister and my girlfriend that come to every fight, everyone else who come, thank you very much. I'd also like to thank Pat very much for giving me the opportunity to fight for the Australian title. But in the future, mate, we're definitely going to do it again, that's for sure. We'll do it again, bro.
Okay, great sportsmanship there, wasn't it, Danny Verusio? Well, Justin just couldn't get past the post, Pat. I know you're disappointed, but there can be only one winner most of the time.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, yeah, nobody likes losing. But Danny Verusio, I don't mind losing to because he's one of the nicest people I've ever met in my life. When I was in Adelaide a few weeks ago, I made a proposition for Danny to ship down to Melbourne and live with me so I can promote him because I think he's a beautiful human being. And I'm really saying that because I mean it. Every time I've come to Adelaide, he's a good boy, always looked after us. John and Steve, thank you. Thanks for coming down. They took a rematch. We did fight in Adelaide a month and a half ago. Danny did win that fight, so thank you for giving us another chance. We gave it our best. We came out second best, but never mind. Thank you very much.
The Kilo Motoring, where all our international and interstate kickboxers stay, including the Danny Verusio and John Sheniotis. The Kilo Motoring. We'll send it to them, yes. Okay, our third one is the Brimbank Car Centre. Brimbank, as in the city of Brimbank. Okay, you'll take in one. The fourth one is
Restaurant Bar in Sambuca.
Sambuca. Sounds a great place to be. Sambuca Restaurant Bar, on behalf of Gladiator Showdown, will present that at an appropriate time.
This will be real good. The Melbourne Penthouse.
They sponsored the last bout. Who's coming up? One of the ladies or one of the managers? Not Nick Rakelis. Nick, we'll need a lovely lady to come and want to come up again. Michael Tsivilos, would you help this young lady through the ring? Don't be, it's Ladies' Day. Michael, come on. Okay, the Darryl Eastlager kickboxing. What a great job of your husband, Mark Castellini. Watch out for Fox Sports kickboxing. Okay. Rachel, would you accept that, please, on behalf of the Melbourne Penthouse? You're at 20 King Street City. Great place to be. Okay, Rachel, thank you, Rachel. Come on, give Rachel a lovely round of applause. Elegant young lady. Amino Active, we know the company particularly well. Richard, would you come up, please? Or Tony DiCasio. Richard Cosen, the Gladiator Showdown, Pat Christophe. Richard, whereabouts is Amino Active? All around Australia?
Every major health food store, gymnasium, right around Australia.
Do greats like Sam Greco and Stan Longinius use the product?
Absolutely depend on it.
Depend on it. Thank you, Richard, with Tony DiCasio. What have we got here? Hillsville Squash and Fitness Centre. Great place right up in the hills. Hillsville Squash and Fitness Centre. We mentioned them earlier on. Anybody here from that company? It's a long way away. We'll put that one down. Yep. Oh, yeah. Devon Zion Property Services. Devon Zion Property Services. Carrie Sproul, is that your company? Devon Zion Property Services, Pat. That's not spelled correctly there. Dimension. Okay, I thought so. Dimension Property Services. Should be an S instead of a Z. Mythos Cafe Bar. You'll take it? Okay, John. John, we'll pass that down to you. That's where we're going tonight, 170 Russell Street. Con Vukovic, good evening to you, Con. Secure the City Star. Road Safety Australia. They're here. Equipment Australia. Okay, to Clarkson. Yep, it is to Road Safety Australia. Boomerang Brand sponsored our first bout on the program. Okay, we'll put those down. Pat, come across and thank all our corporate sponsors. One and a round of applause. You heard Pat Christophe say he didn't sleep last night. Worrying about the show, worrying about you, Mother's Day, family, all those things. A big round of applause for Pat Christophe. Come in. Come in. Come in. 3 big shows, Pat. Congratulations.
Thanks, Howard. Special thanks to all those people that have come tonight to support our show. They all probably had Mother's Day dues, but yet we found them here, so I thank you all very much. The sponsors, I can't stop saying thank you. Well done, and thanks for supporting me once again to make this show possible. We're only going to get bigger and better, so thank you, and I hope you're there to support us in the future. Just one small thing. I've got a small surprise installed for everybody tonight, but I just want everyone to know one thing. We have a bunch of New Zealanders in here that I have never, ever met a bunch of more cooperative people in my life. Last night, I ran around looking for some New Zealanders to come here and give me a hand. What for, you'll see soon. Well, let me tell you one thing. They came, and they came in an army. So all I can say, thank you very, very much. You ever need fights for us, any 50 of you come to us because we'll teach you any way we can. I promise you they will give you a good show and get ready for the 2 main events because they are rippers. Thank you.
rounds in the light heavyweight division. Would you welcome in the blue corner, Jim Cass, Valhalla, Muay Thai Gym, Fortitude Valley in Queensland. This young man has had 8 kickboxing bouts. He's only lost to the beast, El Shadi Ilaz. He comes to Melbourne for the first time, scaling 78.9 kilograms from Kippering, Queensland, Australia. He is a WKA light heavyweight champion. Would you welcome for the first time to Melbourne, wearing Muay Thai trunks of purple, red, and black and white, the Force, Jamie Fleming! Fleming! Across the ring on my left, occupying the red corner. Last time out here in Centre Ring at Eden Gardens, he captured the World Light Heavyweight Super Middleweight Championship. He has a perfect record, 15 bouts, 15 wins, 8 KOs, scaling 76.9 kilograms, the pride of the Victorian stars, Master Danilovic, world champion Iska. Would you welcome the Hungarian Tiger, Tibor Vermes.
You know what I want and what I don't want. You understand what rules you're fighting under? Yes, good. Be aware that I will be taking points off directly if you foul. You understand that? Good. Touch gloves, go back to corners, come out fighting. Thank you.
Well done, Chris. Okay, Oriental rules apply here. No back fists agreed upon. Norman Lou, supervisor. Thank you, Norman. Norman Lou, your ISCA supervisor at ringside. Nick Williams sawing the bell. From Pete Lewis, chairman of ISCA, here at ringside, coming up for round 1.
On the way in the first round of action of our semi-main event between the Tiger, Tibor Vermes, the undefeated star of the Dana Goodson stable, up against Jamie the Force Fleming from Queensland. Light heavyweight semi-main event scheduled for 5 by 2-minute rounds, knees to the body allowed. Your third man in centre ring, former Australian and South Pacific champion Chris Nicolau. Jamie Fleming just launching a high right round kick.
Well, the question is tonight, Michael, can Jamie Fleming upset Tibor Vermes' perfect record of 15-0? Some people say yes, most say no, and Jamie's here to prove him wrong and try and take the win back with him to Queensland.
Well, plenty of talk and speculation surrounding this semi-main event. Jamie Fleming, of course, on the warpath. He wants a rematch with the beast Ilas Al-Shani. And of course, we remember that Tibor Vermes defeated the beast Ilas Al-Shani last year at Melbourne's Festival Hall. So if Fleming can pull off a victory tonight, it will be the biggest scalp of his career. Vermes working one of the first knees of the fight. Knees to the body are permitted. Vermes 15-0 going into this fight, and one of the hottest fighters in Australia at the moment. Of course, tipped in International Kickboxer magazine as one of the stars to watch of 1998. The southpaw, Tibor Vermes. Fleming going downstairs. Vermes very adept in all departments, especially in the boxing department. Done quite a bit of amateur boxing as well, has Tibor Vermes. End of the first round of action, Mark.
Well, fairly even round the first, but Tibor Vermes throwing out some good front kicks and working quite tightly tonight. Jamie Fleming, he's got some good aptitude with the art of Muay Thai and grappling, so it'll be interesting to see if he employs that a little more in the future rounds.
Rock and roll in the second round of action. Semi-main event, light heavyweight contest. Tibor Vermes in the blue trunks against Jamie Fleming in the black trunks. Vermes lining up the high left round kick. They tie up in the centre of the ring. Vermes knee to the solar plexus. The height advantage to Jamie Fleming. Nice inside leg kick there by Vermes. It was here at Eden's Garden that Vermes defeated his English opponent to win his world amateur title. Of course, originally hailing from Hungary, a former Shotokan karate exponent, Tibor Vermes, now training under the auspices of the legend Dana Goodson. Nice leg kick to the lead leg, or the rear leg, I should say, of Jamie Fleming. Tibor's rear leg, that left leg, working a treat for him so far. Front kick off the right leg. And a good technical fight so far, Mark.
Well, it certainly is, Michael. Both these boys are throwing good, strong technique. And when it comes to the kneeing, they're both fairly proficient with the knee strikes. And Jamie Fleming is so far living up to his fairly healthy reputation and not giving an inch to Tibor.
And a cut sustained just to the side of the left eye of Tibor Vermes from an accidental head clash, it looks like. And you can bet that Jamie Fleming will probably go after that cut. Trying to hook around with the right hand if he can to the side of the head of Tibor Vermes. Vermes going downstairs with his leg kicks. And there's the end of the second round of action between Tibor and Jamie Fleming.
I think what we'll see here, Michael, is Tibor probably not wanting to get into any sort of grappling situation where there's a chance of Jamie maybe accidentally hitting or opening up that cut any further. And I think Tibor will have to fight from range and concentrate more on that long-rangey power, kicking and punching that we all know he has.
Rumble in the third round of action. Vermes going downstairs to that right leg. Fleming ties him up, tries to throw a knee, and a display of strength there from Vermes, just trying to stamp his authority on this bout, throwing Fleming to the canvas. Both men just trying to trade the knees to the ribs. Nice boxing combination there from Tibor Vermes to the head of Jamie Fleming. Saw the sweat fly off the brow of the Queenslander. Following up there with the high left round kick just above the ribs. Straight line punching, then going downstairs. Tibor Vermes looking sharp.
And Tibor Vermes stringing them together very well at this stage. He doesn't seem too concerned about that cut at all. He's working in well, combining hands and feet. Jamie Fleming is not a slouch either. He seems to be coping okay with the attacks and using his slight reach advantage as well, just trying to anticipate all of Tibor's thundering leg kicks and long headshots.
Very strong round, this one for Tibor Vermes. He's found the mark with those crushing leg kicks and straight line boxing techniques. That cut doesn't seem to be bothering him at all. There's the inside leg kick from Vermes. The power of those leg kicks, quite stunning indeed from Tibor. And you can bet that Jamie Fleming is feeling the full brunt of them. There's the end of the third round of action. A good solid round there for Vermes.
Well, another close round, Michael. Vermes certainly, you've got to take your hat off to him. He's a very powerful fighter, and that is, of course, reflected in his record. But Jamie Fleming is holding his head up high as well, and this fight, as with the rest of the card tonight, has been of exceptional quality. especially the title fights. I've been very impressed with Christophe's fifth fight onwards. He's done a great job here tonight.
Thank you, Nick. 7 bouts, round 4.
Leading off with the straight right hand there was Jamie Fleming, opening up the 4th round of action. Vermes ties him up. Over in the blue corner, referee Chris Nicolau calls for the break. Nice front kick off the left leg there from Vermes. Fleming ploughing through, tying him up against the ropes. Long ranging front kick there from Vermes. And time called maybe for an unintentional headbutt, was it? Vermes going downstairs with that inside leg kick. Really putting a lot of power into those techniques is Vermes. Fleming ties him up towards the centre of the ring. And both men take a tumble to the canvas. The undefeated world champion Tibor Vermes looking to keep his record perfectly intact here tonight. Just leading out with that right hand, lead hand of his. Front kick off the lead leg that time by Vermes. Fleming ties him up over in the neutral corner, trying to work those knees.
Well, Jamie Fleming has had the majority of his 8 fights, of course, all under Thai rules. Tibor Vermes has had a mixture of everything, boxing, grappling, and the traditional, of course, kickboxing rules without knees. So he's comfortable in any sort of style. But Jamie Fleming, he's equipping himself quite well today against a very accomplished opponent in Tibor Vermes.
Fifth and final round of action between the Tiger, Tibor Vermes, and the force, Jamie Fleming. Fleming ties him up in the centre of the ring. Neither man working the knees in that clinch. Oh, beautiful inside leg kick there from Tibor. He caught Fleming as he was backpedaling. Fleming looking for the straight right hand. Tibor just corks him with another leg kick. Front kick off the lead leg there from Vermes. Nothing really in it. Nicely checked there was the leg kick by Jamie Fleming. And an accidental blow to the groin there, Mark.
Yeah, Fleming claiming a blow to the groin. And as Dana just yelled out, claiming he needs a breather. But Tibor certainly has his timing spot on, whereas Fleming seems to be missing, especially with a lot of those big round leg kicks. He just seems to be off range. But Tibor, on the other hand, his timing and his accuracy is spot on at the moment.
We recommence in the fifth and final round of action. Vermes trying to land that straight left to the jaw, that tie up in the centre of the ring. Fleming fires up a nice crisp right hand. Vermes is trying to dump him to the canvas again. The world champion has been strong throughout the entire fight so far. Inside leg kick again there from Vermes. Been one of his most lethal weapons in this fight. Big left hand and a knee to the ribs from the Tiger. Vermes leading in that time with a lead hook. They tangle in the centre of the ring. Front kick, long-ranging technique and a whipping high right round kick to the head there from Vermes. Fleming ducks under the hands and ties him up. But the Queenslander not really doing anything in the clinching situations, Mark.
Well, Jamie Fleming showed a lot of heart. Certainly tried to take the fight up to Tibor, but on my scorecard, I'd have to say that Tibor Vermes should maintain his winning streak. But nevertheless, Jamie Fleming down from Queensland put up a good, brave effort, and I think we should all take our hats off to him. And certainly will do no harm in the hype for the Ilaz Ilshani rematch that Jamie Fleming so badly wants.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds in the light heavyweight division, the winner by unanimous points from the red corner, Tibor Vermes, taking his record 16 wins. Present that runner-up to Jamie Fleming. And a big gallant performance from Jamie the Force Fleming. Come on, put your hands together to the man from Brisbane Town. Jimmy congratulating Jamie Fleming. Look towards the camera, Jamie. Okay, Jamie Fleming. Thank you from Dimension Properties. Jamie and Jim Cass, don't go away. Well, it seems like the Victorians are the only people that can hit you in the belt there, Jamie. Tibor Vermes and the beast, Ilaz El-Shani. So, bad luck there. Came to Melbourne for the first time, and it was a tough battle in there.
I take my head off to Tibor, he's a true champion, strong fighter. I come in 2 kilos heavier, but he just had the goods.
Jamie, we might see you back in Melbourne Town again.
I'd like to thank Pat Christophe for bringing us down here, because most hospitable coach we've ever had, so thank you very much for that, for putting on the show.
And Kickboxer International had a story that you're challenging Ilaz El-Shani to a rematch.
Well, I cannot get down to 78 kilos again. I'll fight the beast, but I wouldn't mind coming up to 81 kilos. Definitely 6 kilos getting out of this side.
The beast will have to eat a few good meals then.
Yeah, he's a damn good fighter too, so I have to train it good for him.
Awesome fight, Ruth. Jamie was a very good fighter. I enjoyed his fight. I actually seen him training at my gym a couple of days ago, and I got scared. I thought, Tibor, you're going to dig in deep, son. But he did. He dug in pretty deep. But hey, me and Jim Cass met in Adelaide a few months ago, and we had our boys over there fighting. I said to the bloke, mates, I'm bringing you to Melbourne because I reckon you're a funny guy. And sure enough, here he is. Thank you, Jim. Good man. Everything we agreed on, everything we arranged, he stuck by the thing. Tried to get us at the wings a little bit, but we all tried. Thank you very much.
Clash of heads, what happened there in the second round?
Yeah, there was a clash of heads. So it's like fighting from distance, so it doesn't matter.
You have to change your strategy a little bit. Tibor, you've got a busy schedule mapped out for you. The Delic Solix program May 24, and then July 17 on Paul Farfield's big show. So you've got a very busy schedule against top opposition.
Yeah, we'll feel the fights lines up. We take every fight. We do our best.
Well done, Tibor.
I want to thanks to my mother on Mother's Day, and also sponsor, hi, mother. He's been supporting me over fighting. I would like to say thanks to Tetoros, guys have done a good time training very hard. In my corner. Thanks for coming to support me, thank you.
Tibor Vermes. He's a very gracious young man, a man of few words, but he's also very skilled because tonight, as I mentioned to him, he had to fight a different battle. At the end of the second round, it looked a bit of a worry, but you worked through it with a different strategy.
Yeah, well, we knew it was going to be a hard fight. Cass been talking a lot of trash for the last 3 months. He wants Ilaz, he wants Tibor. He got Tibor, and he got his ass whooped. All right? I don't want to talk no trash, really, but Tibor's, we got 2 big fights. Sam Sullivan's on our hit list. Marty Morgan is on our hit list. And every other super middleweight in the world is on our hit list. Thank you. Again, I'd like to say Happy Mother's Day, all you mothers.
Okay, we'd ask you, will you please, a little bit of silence. Something very special. Good to see you. Tetoros.
Why can my name
Hakan. Ladies and gentlemen, just clarifying on May 24, Delic Showdown big program, 7:30 start, right on the dot, and the 10:30 p.m. finish. 10:30 p.m. finish at the Crown Casino, Sunday, May 24. Because 2 weeks ago, not quite to the day, but we lost a very loyal friend of kickboxing, a man who was a computer analyst and a very valued member of the Fitzroy Stars Gymnasium. I'd ask you to please upstanding as we remember Panteli Akropetus. I remember meeting Panteli at the Melbourne Town Hall on a Chris Crandall show way back in 1990. He beat Robert Anderson. George Costas was his mentor. In more recent years, he was a very valued member of the Fitzroy Stars Gymnasium. A young man, 27, 28 years of age, lived in Newport, Spotswood, was a very proud member of this community of the western suburbs. We honour always the loss of friends, family, and we call it the kickboxing family. So I ask a moment's silence as our timekeeper, Miss Anita Williams, tolls the bell 10 times in memory of Panteli. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, finally, Pat Christophe proudly presents Fights for Us, main event, 6-round super welterweight international world title eliminator. Would you welcome, ladies and gentlemen, on my right, in the blue corner, Warren McGee, tonight stepping in. This young man comes from Hamilton in New Zealand. 53 years of age, he brings to center ring a record of 57 bouts, 40 wins. 22 wins coming by way of knockout. Wearing tangerine and black. 4 times New Zealand champion, currently Waikato super middleweight champion. Would you welcome Shane the Dragon Bishop in the blue corner. Across the ring in the red corner, Prada Master Nana Goodson, Fitzroy Stars from Box Hill, North Victoria. He is the ISCA Commonwealth welterweight champion, the ISCA Commonwealth Muay Thai welterweight champion, and Australian and Victorian kickboxing champion. He brings to center ring a record of 21 bouts, 18 wins, 3 losses, 11 big wins coming by way of knockouts. Wearing multi-coloured trunks of white, black with red. Would you welcome Nick the Gladiator Referee Vice President. 6 rounds, super welterweight.
Okay, gentlemen, you're both aware of the rules you're fighting under. Do you have any questions at this time? Okay, obey my commands at all times. When I tell you to break clean. When I tell you to step back clean. Do you understand that? Close gloves now, and in the last round, you're going to Good luck.
Right, One Stop Automotive, sponsoring our main event.
Let's go, man.
Second out, not yet. Round one.
Tetoros out of the red corner, and New Zealand's Shane the Dragon Bishop out of the blue corner, third man in centre ring. Referee Bryce Burt whistle. Tetoros, the southpaw. His last victory, a decision win over the Great White Shark, Cenk Bayik. Scheduled for 6 by 2 minute rounds. Super welterweight. Tetoros in nice and close against the ropes. Working those rips to the ribs. A solid left hand to the face. Found its way through the guard of Shane Bishop. He'll want to keep his hands up definitely against the terror Nick Tetoros. Tetoros possesses a couple of wicked hands. And that straight left hand, one of his most lethal weapons. There it is again. Bishop with a front kick off the rear leg. Just moving out of the way of that leaping hook of Tetoros.
Well, it's been a fairly tentative start to this bout, Michael, and Shane Bishop still to find his feet in a strange place, fighting a long way from home, but and a fairly tough opponent in Nick Tetoros. Very, very nuggety southpaw is Nick Tetoros, and he'll certainly make Shane Bishop work every inch of the way here tonight.
Seconds out, round two.
Rock on the second round of action. Shane Bishop against the terror Nick Tetoros. Tetoros leading you with that big left hand. Tetoros just stalking at the moment, waiting for the right opportunity. Bishop's hands have been low. He'll want to keep him up, but Tetoros will pounce on him. Tetoros just probing out for lead hand, goes an inside leg kick, backs Bishop against the ropes. Some nice work to the body there, a slapping inside leg kick it was by Bishop. Just letting Tetoros know that he's here to fight. Driving body shot off the rear hand there by Tetoros. Forces Bishop back into the corner. Slamming that left hand to the body, Nick Tetoros. Bishop dropping his head down low. We'll have to be careful, Mark.
Well, you have to really admire Nick Tetoros' boxing skills. Any fighters out there that are wanting to find a good example of a proficient boxer, have a bit of a look at Nick Tetoros. He loads up, isolates his target using his lead shoulder, and then drills those hands into the body and head. A good mixture of hand and body shots. I'm sorry. He always varies the height of his strikes, and he's never really predictable. And that's what makes Nick Tetoros such a proficient fighter. Shane Bishop is slowly finding his feet, but I feel he's more comfortable fighting under the tie rules. You'll notice that when he gets in close, he does go for the grapple.
Shane Bishop in a world of hurt over in the neutral corner. Tetoros has him wobbled. explosive end to the round there from Tetoros.
Shane Bishop in a spot of body there towards the end of that round, but took a few of those on the gloves, and just having a look over at his eyes, they don't seem to be too glazy. He seems to be okay. Nick Tetoros really giving it his all and unwinding there in the neutral corner, and certainly taking it right up to Shane Bishop at this stage.
Showdown, Nick Tetoros, Shane Bishop. Seconds out, round 3.
Into the third round of action. Tetoros against Bishop. Tetoros brought it home very strongly at the end of the last round, after a tentative start by both men. Bishop, his hands fairly wide, his guard very low. And Tetoros moves in, sinks the left hand to his kisser. Tetoros really working the body shots very impressively in this fight so far. High left round kick to the head. Luckily for Bishop on that occasion, he had his gloves up. Tetoros just trying to measure him off and launch that rear left hand. There it is, flush to the kisser, drops it down to the body, and Bishop in spots of bother yet again. Tetoros really doing some batting practice on the body of Shane Bishop. Drills a short left uppercut, goes a couple of inside leg kicks. So Tetoros doing a good job of mixing up high and low at the moment. There's the inside leg kick to that lead leg of Bishop again. Clubbing those shots down to the body. There's the short uppercut off the left hand again from Tetoros. He likes to get in close and go, go, go. There's Nick the Terror Tetoros backing Bishop into the neutral corner. And referee Bryce Birtwistle says to break it up. Another good round so far, Mark, from Nick the Terror Tetoros.
Well, Nick Tetoros is just picking up where he left up from in the last round. He's certainly combining well. And as I said earlier, he's working the high-low principle to a T. He works the legs, the body, the head, and mixes them all up accordingly. And throws everything with bad intent and a lot of power. And for a man of his size, Nick Tetoros certainly has a lot of power.
Fourth round of action. The Terror Nick Tetoros just stalking Bishop yet again. Fires out those straight hands. Nice front kick there to the body. Bishop, to his credit, still giving it a good go here against Tetoros. Ooh, stung Tetoros there. A couple of nice combinations to the head. Tetoros fires back. It seems to infuriate the little Terror from Box Hill North.
Well, Bishop just caught Nick Tetoros napping there with a couple of good clean headshots, and I think those blows to the head have certainly woken Nick up, who just got a little casual there, and Bishop really nailed them home, but Nick's now fired up, and he's certainly given it back to Shane Bishop in no unsung proportion. The southpaw Tetoros, I feel, has confounded Bishop, and he really doesn't have an answer for a lot of his attacks.
And the high left round kick from Tetoros, following on from that big left hand, has sent the Kiwi down. Shane Bishop in a world of hurt. Tetoros planted him like a tree. Tetoros going to work on him now. Hunting for the big KO. Body shots from Tetoros. Batting practice. Over in the blue corner. Bishop in all sorts of bother. Tetoros really doing a number on him. Inside leg kick there from the Terror. Bishop hasn't handled his southpaw style very well at all. There's the end of the fourth round, Mark.
Well, Bishop seems to be tiring, but so does Tetoros. But nevertheless, Tetoros is digging deep. and he's really nailing those kicks and punches home. That was an excellent timed head kick there from Nick Tetoros. Just seen Bishop take his hands away enough from his head for him to land that roundhouse kick plumb, and of course give Bishop the count, which is not really going to hurt his. Is not really going to help his cause, rather, any for this bout.
The fifth round of action. Tetoros against Bishop. Spinning hook kick there from Bishop. The most spectacular technique of the fight so far. Bishop, a self-trained fighter from New Zealand. Doing well so far. Tetoros just weaving out of the way of the left hand, firing back with the left of his own. Catches Bishop against the ropes. Calls from the crowd for Tetoros to put the New Zealander away. But there's a hard head on this Kiwi. He's taking a lot of punishment, a few unanswered blows. But Bishop manages to fire back. He looks worse for wear over in the red corner. Tetoros just burying in on him like a pit bull. Tetoros just trying to measure him with those straight punches. There's the 1-2. Caught that kick on the gloves, did Bishop. And Bishop looking a little battle weary. Still manages to wind up the overhand right. Came close but no cigar. Bishop forcing Tetoros against the ropes. Leg kick there from the Kiwi. Tetoros fires back. A nice leg check and a good left hand to end the fifth round for Nick Tetoros. One more round to go, Mark.
Well, Bishop certainly digging deep and showing a lot of Kiwi heart as he's bringing it home. But Nick Tetoros is slightly tiring, but nevertheless still fires up to the occasion when he gets put under pressure. And that's got to be a credit to Dana and the Fitzroy Stars with Nick Tetoros. I'm sure they've done many rounds of hard sparring on this boy, and it's all paying off here tonight. Shane Bishop, though, take nothing away from him. Great effort from this Kiwi. Great effort.
All the talk, all the training, it has all come down to this, the sixth and final round of this world title eliminator in the super welterweight division between Nick the Terror Tetoros sticking out that side kick and Shane Bishop. Bishop trying to wade through the attack of the Terror. Tetoros turns it around. Tetoros just backs him against the ropes. Burying in again. Digging his shoulder into Bishop to pin him against the ropes. Nice leg kick to the lead leg there from Tetoros, and another one. That time he chops the Kiwi down. Tetoros bringing the fight home solidly. Goes for the straight left hand to the head. Bishop still hunting after him, showing great intestinal fortitude. Front kick there from the Terror. Spinning hook kick by Bishop. This late in the fight, you've got to give him some credit for that. Tetoros just firing off that straight left. Bishop moved in, but he wasn't quick enough to catch the Terror. Both men fighting on the last ounce of energy. Tetoros goes wildly, swinging in with the leg kick. whips that one up nice and high. Bishop just caught it on the gloves in time. The Terror bringing it home strongly here. The audience rallying behind the local hero. Downstairs, Shane Bishop just checking the kick, the end of the 6th and final round of action.
Well, Shane Bishop will certainly know that he's been in a hell of a fight in the morning, and what a great evenly match bout that was. But Nick Tetoros, just too much class, I believe, on the night. What an awesome battle. And Shane, the Kiwi warrior, Bishop, I've got to take my hat off to him. But Nick Tetoros, a very, very polished performance indeed.
Thank you, Savva. 1 minute race. Turn the music down. Savva, whereabouts is your business?
Down the street, Albury.
Yep, we go down the street. A great part of Melbourne town. Get you to take these as an interactive product. And that's for the one each. Runner-up pack.
Just to let everybody know, Nick Tetoros meant to be fighting Glenn Barrowbury. Glenn pulled out about a week ago. Shane Bishop, I made one phone call and the only answer I got was yes. So put your hand together. This boy took it within 4 or 5 days notice. And boy, is he hard. You're making Kiwis proud, I tell you.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 grouping rounds of kickboxing, our big finale, the big winner, by unanimous points from the red corner, the Gladiator, Nick Tetoros. And the big round is, that's it for Shane the Dragon Bishop. There you go. Shane, this is a quick word with you. Thank you, Kate. Shane, you gave it down, you got a quick fighter, and bad luck there. Nice to have you in Melbourne, Shane.
Yeah, so thank for having me here. Rick's a good fighter. Now, I just wish I could have put up a show. Thank you so much.
Thanks for that. Shane Bishop from New Zealand. Sweet. Got a big nut here. Congratulations.
Really appreciate the hospitality by everybody who have come in tonight to support the fight. Also my team, a wonderful team from the Victorian All-Stars. This one's for all of us, and all the rest of the boys that fought tonight, they're very proud. Happily named as the most
Okay, hold it up,
Reno, let's give him a big hand. Let's give everybody a big hand. I'd like to thank Pastor Sophie, give us this highest grade, Dr. Lewis, the whole team. I'd like to also thank our sponsors, One Stop Auto. Anybody need any cars? You need tires? You need anything done in your car? One Stop Auto. Don't go nowhere else. Go see him and he'll give you a discount. Just tell him I said so. And also Black and Blue, they're the best in business. One Stop Auto, Black and Blue. I'd like to thank you all. And again, happy Mother's Day to all you mothers. I love you. You're one special lady, all of you.
Sashi, always supporting me. Also AST Research down in Goran, South Africa. Also, once again, everybody, for the thank you for the support and all the respect. Thank you very much. Bye.
Hallelujah, saying protect yourself at all times.
Well, Mark the Hammer, what a sensational main event. Nick the Terror Tetoros just seems to get better with every fight that he has. That was a world title eliminator against a very tough Shane Bishop. And I think Nick's going to go for a world title very soon.
Well, certainly, Michael, he put it all together tonight, and he looked the goods, and I can't wait to see his world title fight. I think he's ready to take on the best that there is to offer, and as I said, he's putting it all together, and he's certainly looking the goods.
From Mark the Hammer Castanini and myself, Michael Chiavello, thank you for joining us on this Fight Us Promotions. Look forward to the pleasure of your company again next time at Eden's Gardens Reception.